What's up, my friends? What's up, YouTube? Good to see ya. I'm excited. I'm enjoying these. Yeah, I'm taking a little extra time to do these. Did what? 2-3 Twitter Spaces podcasts last week. We did a Sunday live stream, a Monday live stream, and we're gonna do another one right now. Appreciate you, Keith. Thank you very much for your subscription over there on YouTube. I appreciate that. All right, let's see here. Let's get to work immediately, and we'll just let people kind of catch up as we go. So I posted this tweet a couple hours ago. I'm kind of excited to see, where the field goes today, because I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, honestly. A lot of people used the Padres last night, and they got wrecked, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to look at a little bit of Fantasy Cruncher lineup study, kind of show you exactly what I'm talking about, what I saw. And let's start it off right here with this tweet. So I tweeted this out, asked people what are they going to be doing, fading Padres stacks, all in, or using but capping. So wild, 44% of the people out there, hopefully telling the honest truth on Twitter via poll. 44% of those honest truthers there said that they're going to be going all in. 30%, a third of the field, potentially fading, and then some will be using and capping. Anyways, this is what happened last night, and I'm going to show you right now on Fantasy Cruncher Live. So we have, for what it's worth, 23.1% of all lineups last night used some sort of stack of the Padres, 2-man, 3-man, 4-man, 5-man stacks. So I looked it up and I was like, well, where did these teams finish? Well, the highest finishing 5-man stack last night was 550th in the Gyro Ball. That's the $15 contest, 150 max. The highest finishing place for a 4-man stack of the Padres that only scored 3 runs took 73rd. 3-man took 61st, and a 2-man stack took 6th place on the opposite side of maybe a Tigers 5-man stack. And I put this question: eating chalk fails. What? Sometimes, always, never? It's up to the reader. It's up to you guys. From there, I posted a few other tweets talking about some of these teams I'm targeting tonight, some of the teams I like and why. Going to be talking about the Astros ownership, all right? You can kind of start looking at my tweets throughout the day as prelude to what potentially I will be discussing on the 12:30 p.m. Twitch stream or the 5:30 p.m. YouTube stream. Cleveland going to be popular tonight, unfortunately. I like them a lot. Reds, love tonight. Aquino is batting second, and he's just 2,500, I think, on DraftKings. Jesse Winker out of the lineup, which I don't mind at all. Lefty versus lefty. And Astros ownership, I want to talk about them, talk about their splits, their trends splits, and the matchup. So let's go. First off, let's look at last night. We're going to look quickly, and this is what I do during my daily 12:30 stream. So if you're tuning in right now and you're like, this is dope, I like looking at what has happened so that we can move forward. Here's the Gyro Ball. I guess it was $18. Take back my tweet. 19,000 entrants. I can look at this over here, and I'm going to look at all lineups. I'm going to click the player usage real quick. You can see pitching chalk, astronomical there with Tyler Glasnow, who ended up hurting himself, and he's out for quite a while. I think a torn UCL or something. Lance Lynn, second highest owned pitcher last night. Wainwright comes in at third, 27.5%. Brad Keller, shockingly fourth, 13.3. Stack usage. Now, here we go. I'm looking at 5-man stacks last night. The Padres, a healthy 7.9%, all right? That's 3.5% higher than the second most used team last night in the the Colorado Rockies at 4.4%. Here's the 2-mans. Padres like crazy, 9.3. That is more than double the next closest team that was used last night. Looking at 3-mans, more than double in exposure compared to the field here, with St. Louis coming in second at 3%. Padres at 6.7. Craziness. 4-player stacks. We have San Diego at 5.2. That is, a full 250% higher than the next closest team in the cards. So where did these teams all end up? Well, this is how I found out. I would just sort by San Diego, take a peek. There we go, 73rd place. And if you go back to the tweet, that's how I showed it. So with that in mind, we had a total of 23% of all lineups last night having some sort of Padres stack involved. If 23% of every single lineup made in that 19,000 person tournament last night included a Padres stack, you have two decisions if that is replicated tonight. Number one, you can use the Padres and move with 23% of the field up and down in the standings. Number two, you can use only Padres 5-man stacks so that if they go nuclear and score 15 runs tonight, It's you moving up and down with potentially maybe 9.9% of the field, right? Where did I get that number? Well, if 9% of the field last night used 5-man Padres stacks, if you use the Padres tonight, it makes sense if they're going to be super chalky, which I'm about to show you how chalky exactly they're going to be using our stacks tool at teamriseorfall.com. Now, if you use the Padres, you're going to want to use them at 5-man stacks. Because what happens if they go for 15 runs? Are all those 2-man Padres stack teams in a good spot to make money? Maybe min cash? Because you know why? If 9% of the field has a 5-man stack and the Padres go for 15 tonight, that 9% of the field, almost a virtual lock to soak up half of the top 20% that gets paid. They're going to soak up half the winning lineups, half the winning spots. And then you know who the next teams are? The 7.7% of the 4-man stacks. So you're looking all of a sudden 16%, the top 16% in the actual tournament out of only 20% of the field getting paid all. You know, it's like, and now you go look at the 3-man Padres stacks. Okay, now maybe some of them make it in. 2-man stacks, maybe a couple make it in as min cashes. But those 4-man Padres stacks, those 5-man Padres stacks, those are the teams that are going to be in the top of the standings. So your goal is either go heavy and use big stacks for the Padres. That way you trump all the second 2-mans and 3-man stacks, or you don't use them at all. And you are with the 77% of the field that has allocated their exposures across the other 29 teams on tonight's slate. There's 30 teams in tonight's slate. Do you want to move with 23% of the field up and down when there's 29 other options? And that is a you decision. I can't tell you what the right or wrong answer is. Dom and Eric, thank you very much for the YouTube subscriptions. That's pretty wild. I appreciate it. Make sure you dive into our Discord. It is on the YouTube homepage once you're logged in as a member. That is what they have done. They have subscribed as a member, and you can grab the Discord link there. And I'll talk to you in I'll talk to you in Discord for sure too. Chat, what's up? E-Gene, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Joe, nice $700 win last night in the late slate. I did see that, my friend. Jeff, thanks for taking time to do this. Yes, I appreciate you too, or I want to be here. Team Library. Team Library. That's right, Adrian. I made a joke about this yesterday on the YouTube stream. There's like 45, 50 people who watched it, and, live congruent watchers, viewers, whatever. And there might have been a total of like 15 to 20 comments. Meanwhile, today I did a 45-minute Twitch stream. There were over 200 chat messages. 200 chat messages. Just about 60 people watching for the 45 minutes, 60 congruent viewers at all times. It is just crazy. YouTube is, I said it's the library. It's the stream library. Like everyone's like, they're paying attention, they're taking notes. But shh. Nobody talk. And if you do, wait your turn and do it quietly. And then you switch over to my Twitch stream at 12:30. Everyone's like, yo, look at me in the back. I got a question. Brad Keller, what do you think? White Sox ownership, what do you think? Padres 3-mans last night. That's what I was rolling with. And like Twitch is just mayhem. I guarantee YouTube, everyone's like super polite. They're quiet. I'm in the library. I'm streaming in the library again. Cracks me up every time I stream here. What's up, Matt? Let's go. Let's bink again. Let's get it. I'm ready. What's up, Eric? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here, Momo and Rojo. Can't read that name, but looks neat. Says, football is the most popular sport in the world, but not American football called rugby, and the rest of the world, make no mistake. Cool. Way to stay on topic. Jeez. Christian Rodriguez. Played Brad Keller, San Diego stack, and Pitts Jack yesterday. Sad face crying. Crying emoji. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. So tonight, looking at our projected ownership here, MLB DFS Study Hub on the website, we have an astronomical issue here because it is. And why? Because 20.84% of the field using some type of variable stack of the San Diego Padres is an astronomical issue because you're almost pigeonholed into saying, I'm going to use them and I'm not going to cap them and I'm going to use them in 5- and 4-man size stacks, or you're just fading. I don't think when you have an ownership this high, like that is crazy high. If you have an ownership this high on a team, Can you run out 2s and 3-man stacks? Like, how terrible a decision does that seem? And foot it, I'm going to be probably put my foot in my mouth here a little bit, because last night, with the 23% of the Padres, the highest Padre finishing team last night was a 2-man stack of the Padres. I think they got lucky. They had, who's the guy that hit a home run? The outfielder. Grisham. Trent Grisham hit a home run. I think that was one of his 2 people in the 2-man stack. Took 6th place. And then the 5-man stack, I want to say, was on the Tigers. So you got to get real lucky like that if you're using a 2-man stack and still placing super high. Jeff Chambers says, smart to remove or thumb down Tatis, cap San Diego, but getting him in almost every lineup is one-off. Yeah, I mean, first off, don't use the initial projections. I would wait till these update. Number 2, I think, if you want to put a global cap on players, that's fine. That's fine. I don't even know if you need to do like individual. If you just do it globally, that's cool. You could cap him individually, but my concern would be if you're using the Padres stacks, I don't know if I want to be capping anybody. Like, what happens if I run out 20 Padres lineups tonight, but I have Tatis, capped at 30%? Well, now potentially he's only going to be in 3 of my 20 Padres lineups. Maybe within my Padres stacks, I want Tatis in all 20. And then I just don't want him as a one-off. Does that make sense? And Val says, does San Diego bombing last night affect ownership at all, new to baseball? To some extent, yeah. I think there's always going to be an issue of like overcoming recency bias. And last night, 23% of the field had a stack of some sort with the Padres per Fantasy Cruncher's lineup study. And that means, out of those 23%, how many of that 23% maybe is a little gun shy because they got burned? It's not going to be many. 10% of that 20%? So maybe it drops from 23 to, 20.7, which, by the way, is just kind of right around our team ownership tonight for the San Diego Padres, if that makes sense to you. It's like it'll be a fraction of those Padres owners that are going to be afraid, but only a fraction, and not enough really to put a dent in the entire tournament itself. So 20,000 people last night in that tournament in the Gyro Ball, the $18 150 max. And if 20,000 people did, if 2,300 of them used Padre stacks, and we're saying 10% of them might have some recency bias and not use them again tonight, you're only losing 230 stacks from there. That still means over 2,000 of the 19,800 or whatever end up still using the Padre stacks. And in which case, if you're on that side of it, go 5-mans, go 4-mans. I think that's the way to roll. With so many games, would it be ideal to remove the 7 and 9 batters on the hub to see adjusted ownerships for 1 through 6? You can do that if you want. I mean, what he is saying right now is if you're using our study hub, you can click on the projected order, right? So what you'll do is you can go like 1 through 6 and then see where's the ownership based on these teams. So like a team like San Diego, in fact, if you remove the 7, 8, 9 hitters, their team projected ownership would be at 21.46. So a high percentage of the stacks are going to come through the first 6 hitters. Now, that's going to be a fairly common thing across all teams. But where I think something like this matters is a team like Houston tonight. A team like Houston has some very hot hitters here towards the bottom of the order. Bregman going bonkers lately. Yuli, Carlos Correa. In fact, if I go over to, and I'm going to scroll over to this side of the study hub where it says trend stacks, and I go look at Houston, you guys want to see a hot team? Right here, my friends. Look at how hot Houston is. Now, over the last 277 plate appearances against right-handed pitchers, this is over the last 14 days against starting pitcher hand. I think they're facing Kyle Gibson tonight, right-handed pitcher. So if Houston is against Kyle Gibson, right-handed pitcher for Texas on the road in Houston tonight, and these are the team's WOBAs over the last however many at-bats. So here's your plate appearances. So here's how you would read this. Carlos Correa at 4.7K on DraftKings has a projection of 7.49, DK value 159, lower ownership rate. That's good. These are not final. Wait for these to go final in about 15, 20 minutes. And then over here, out of the last 41 plate appearances against right-handed pitchers over the last 14 days, he's got a 415 WOBA and a 171 ISO, okay? Who else we got here? Michael Brantley going bonkers the last 21 at-bats. Kyle Tucker hitting great down there towards the bottom of the order. So, if you're looking at the stacks tab, DK Stacks tab, you want to maybe get off some of these more popular hitters, you can do something like that and like maybe try to look at like, well, what's a 5 through 9 stack look like for some of these other teams? Is a team like Houston going to be really low owned no matter what? Yeah, I think really outside of this first team right here in San Diego, you're going to see pretty flat ownership. And if you're looking at our projections right now, teamriseorfall.com projections, by the way, if you want to get a look at all this stuff, you can go ahead and go to our homepage, MLB DFS. All right, I'm going to post it in chat. And you guys can grab links to these tools and all our content and give it a look. And if you're saying, you know what, I'm going to try this out tonight, use promo code STREAM. That's something I usually have up on the screen for Twitch. But use promo code STREAM, STREAM, and you end up getting $20 off, or you get $10 off, excuse me, to your first month here. So this ends up being $19.99 for your first month. You get every single sport, all access, all pass. That includes $20 to fantasycruncher.com. So not too bad. Not too bad. Pretty affordable. It takes off $5. Makes it $24.99, excuse me. All right, so here's Study Hub. So again, I was getting to the point where I think tonight, honestly, the ownership, it's going to be pretty flat, man. I mean, we've got high ownership on the first team. And then outside of that, everybody else, 2 to 7%. I mean, that type of range is not something I'm really trying to avoid or do anything out of, I go out of my way to do anything like that. Just posted a thing in chat. Get these people in here. People asking questions in Discord, hoping for answers. Get here in chat and ask them. Psychos. That's the library. What's up, Mike? Good to see you. Darvish in season long, following a quiet Coors night. Oh, good luck. Good luck, fam. Good luck. What else we got here? Playing Kebron and Phillip. Oh, Phillies pit stack for tournaments says Patrick Corbin absolutely sucks against right-handed batters, and both players doing nice. What's up, Eric? Good to see you, man. You want to look at that? We can look at pitchers. Let me look at the pitchers real quick. Who were you just talking about? Let me go to DraftKings pitchers. Who are you talking? Oh, Patrick Corbin. Here we go. Lefty. Okay. Against Pittsburgh. I mean, splits matchups today is not too bad at all. Here, if I go to the DraftKings batters, watch this. I'm going to go click Pittsburgh. You want to see this? You can actually see Pittsburgh's. You can see Pittsburgh's splits against left-handed pitchers. So I went to the far left where it says DraftKings batter matchups, and I clicked Pittsburgh, and I can see there's the hitters against left-handed pitchers, and I can scroll over to the right here, and it actually shows me everything. So Ke'Bryan Hayes, 36 career plate appearances against lefties, absolutely mashing them tonight. $4,600, this kid. Then you can look at the pitcher versus starting pitcher hands. So here's Patrick Corbin. He doesn't suck. Just want you to make sure you got that right. Him against righties does not suck over the last 2 years. In fact, he's giving up a 304 WOBA, a below league average, 146 ISO, below league average, and a hard hit rate of 38.9%. I mean, that is not bad. And he's a ground ball pitcher. So I'm sorry, but Patrick Corbin does not suck against right-handed hitters. So make sure you guys kind of back up what your personal opinions are by using the Study Hub, because all the data is right here. All right. And now, if you slide over to the Trend Stacks tab on the far right, we go look at Pittsburgh. You want to see how they're doing as of late? Over the last 88 plate appearances, can you guys see this at the bottom of the screen? I'll scroll it up. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, help you all out. So over the last 88 plate appearances, this is Pittsburgh's category. Last 88 plate appearances, my friends, they have a 303 WOBA against lefties, 144 ISO. just about an average strikeout rate of 20.7%, low walk rate, WRC plus of 92.5. It's not like they're world beaters right now, homie. So they're cheap. They're very cheap. If you want exposure to Ke'Bryan Hayes, I think is a fine one-off tonight. But as far as like stacking them up, thinking you have some type of elite ceiling, I'm not entirely sure that that is there. Who's your favorite starting pitcher or starting pitcher 2? I'll get there. Yes, San Diego's a massive chalk. We spent the first 15 minutes of tonight's video talking about how to leverage the situation tonight because you got massive ownership. Our projected ownership on San Diego stacks, 20.84%. Last night, 23.1% of every single lineup created had a stack of a 2 to 5 man size of the San Diego Padres. So tonight I was saying earlier to everyone who showed up here early, thank you for that. If you do use the Padres, if you're going to be moving with 23% of the field up and down in the standings and using the most popular team, you probably want to have 4 and 5 man stacks and just avoid the smaller ones. Now that's purely just talking about like, how do I want to leverage the ownership? Because if last night replicates itself where 7% had 5 mans, 9.6% had 4 mans, that means you can at least leverage the Padres ownership against itself and be able to have better lineups if the Padres go for 15 runs than the other 8% of the field that had a 2 and 3 man Padres stack. So it's like, if you're going to use the Padres, go all in. Go big stacks. And then if you're not using the Padres, then, you know, I think that's probably the better play if you're trying to take down a massive tournament. If you're doing a small single entry or a small 20 max or something, okay, you know, go ahead, get some exposure. You might want to cap them. But if we're talking about, we'll go look at pitchers next. Don't you worry, homie. But if we are talking about, you know, if we're talking about taking down a 40,000 person tournament, like I entered a 41,000 person tournament tonight. I think I maxed out the $1 150 max on DraftKings, and then I maxed out the 50 center and the other 50 center. There are 41,000 people. The next one was 23,000 people, and I think the other was like 9,000 people. I'll play each of those tournaments differently. I probably will not use the same 150 lineups across. So the big 41,000 person tournament, my friends, I'm going to try to leverage the crap out of that. It's a bigger payoff. I think there's $4,000 to first place. It's a nice size tournament. I have to beat 40,000 teams to get there, though. Am I going to do that by moving up and down in the standings with 23% of the field, or what we project tonight as 20.84% of Padres lineups? No, probably not. So in that tournament where I have to beat 41,859 people to take first place and win $4,000, you know what? I'm probably going to leverage this ownership and just not touch them. Or that, or I'm going to cap them real low and say, you know what? If I do have the Padres in my lineups tonight, 5-man stacks only, and I only want 10% of my 150. That would mean 15 Padres stacks, 15 5-man Padres stacks, and then I ain't touching them. I'm going to uncheck them. I don't want them as one-offs. I don't want them as 2-man stacks, 3-man stacks, 4-man stacks. It's 5s or nothing for me. Now, if we're talking the smaller tournament, 7,000, 8,000 people, whatever the other 50 max is, 150 max, 50 center is, you know, it's only like $300 of first place. You know, I could probably get some exposure there to the Padres and be all right. I'm only, again, 6,999 lineups where I have to beat those ones out to win, and that's including my other 149 entries. So I'll get exposure to the Padres in something like that. And I think I had this conversation. I posted a tweet like this on Twitter today at DFSnDonuts. If you are using the Padres tonight, I think that's okay. But it matters what type of contest selection and what you're doing with them. Large tournament, probably want to get off them. Smaller tournament, I think it's okay to use them, but you want to, full 5-man stacks. If you're in cash, by all means, go for it. I challenge you to look elsewhere, though, a little bit. Try to get off some of those expensive plays. Maybe look at Houston. Maybe look at Cleveland. These are other phenomenal hitting teams tonight based on matchups. I love Cincinnati. Matter of fact, let's go look at Cincinnati right now, and then let's go look at some pitching, because I see chat kind of warming up a little bit now. Finally looks like I'm on a Twitch chat where people are rolling out things. Isn't Cleveland the chalk? No, Cleveland's not going to be chalk. Not on a Coors Field slate against Chichi Gonzalez. I'm sorry, San Diego's going to be uber chalk. Cleveland, second highest owned team, but 7%, nothing to be concerned of. I would not even be too concerned about capping them. You really got one decision point tonight, and it's what to do with the Padres. Hey there, I'm back. Could have sworn Patrick Corbin was 7 ERA against right-handed batters. That alone caught my eye. Thoughts on Trevor Rogers tonight, a potentially sub 5? Oh, okay, so let's get to pitchers next. All right, so I wanted to talk about Cleveland. I want to talk about Cincinnati and Houston. Those are 3 teams I mentioned in my tweet today. So when you're looking at this, ownership projection tonight on teamriseorfall.com, we have them as the second highest owned team. Slightly irrelevant, again, because I think projections fairly flat outside the top owned Padres team. Houston, 13th highest owned. They are 11th in our DK ranking. Cleveland was second in our DK ranking. And a team way down here, you're going to be like, Mitch, what are you doing? You're going against the model tonight. Well, part of this is just maybe my bias because I love Aquino batting second, and he's got such power, and I like their matchup. So Cincinnati, 16th highest owned tonight. We have them way down here at 25th in the first run of the model. I know the later update in the model might change some things, so let's slide over to the trend stacks. Now, when I'm looking at the trend stacks, here's where a couple of these teams pop off and make me think twice. Houston, over the last 277 at-bats, my goodness, this is astronomical numbers. They have over a 400 WOBA. That's a huge sample size. 277 plate appearances in 14 days, my friends. That is crazy. They have a 408 WOBA, a 196 ISO, an average strikeout rate, a nice high walk rate, and an insane WRC plus rating. This is really, really high. 166 points. It's crazy. And it's not like they're being buoyed by 3 or 4 hitters. Fam, we're talking like most of the lineup is doing well right now. Tucker, Correa, Brantley, Gurriel, Alvarez, Altuve, and then there's still at any moment Bregman and, Correa could just go yard and maybe have a good game here and raise up some of their averages. I mean, like these guys are just good hitters. It's a good hitting lineup and they're showing it. So if they're going to be 13th highest owned tonight, like I like Houston. I might go out of my way to try to build around them. For single entry, I did the $77 on FanDuel, I believe. I probably will build around Houston and Cincinnati over there. And if I can plug in like a one-off of Cleveland, then I get my next 3 favored offenses, and I get the fade, the Padres, to do so. Now, look at Cleveland. They are the 5th hottest team if you're going by this WOBA rating here. WOBA average. A 352 WOBA is pretty strong, about 30 points above league average. 149 ISO, just about league average. 18% strikeout rate, decent. WRC plus 122. 250 plate appearances, not bad. Cincinnati, though, look at this. Very sneaky, in my opinion. So it's a pretty small sample size, massive power. 257 ISO over the last 14 days against left-handed pitchers. And you never really have to worry about people like Joey Votto, some of these guys who are, first off, number one, like super hot. And number two, like Votto's always done pretty well against lefties as well. He's had decent splits. Castellanos, in the MVP race this year. Jonathan India, he's freaking slamming the ball right now. And then, again, we talked about it. Aristides Aquino back in the lineup tonight, batting second. There's a ton of power. Eugenio Suarez. Like, there is a ton of power in the Reds offense tonight. And I know the model's not pushing them out. They're not getting pumped out by the model right now. But I'm semi-okay with it. If that allows me to even be just a little bit more under the radar with some of my stacks. I was hoping this was updated. It doesn't look like CG has it updated just yet. I'm going to go over to the projections. Let's grab these. Let's go into Fantasy Cruncher and get to work. All right, hit you back up tomorrow, man. Hayes and Evan's going to pop off. Best believe. Thanks for hanging out today and supporting the stream. Honestly, I appreciate your support. For all the people watching here, I do a daily stream at 12:30 p.m. on twitch.tv/teamriseorfall. In the bottom left hand, I'm trying to think which way I need to point. Bottom left hand of the overlay should be like down in this area. You'll see teamriseorfall.com. That is my website. That's my first company there. The MySparry above at the top, that's my other sports betting company that I just launched on Monday. So give my companies a look here, and you guys can get some of the goodies. But I do a normal 12:30 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/teamriseorfall stream. We've got several thousand viewers over there, and I hope you guys join. And if you're catching this on YouTube first time, hit the sub button. Do me a big favor. It's totally free. It supports free content, allows me to continue to do this stuff for free and show up, taking half hour, 45 minutes of my time before dad life kicks in for the rest of the night. So thanks for the support. Hit that like button down below. I'm supposed to say that too. I never remember. All right, let's grab the projections, and then let's go make some lineups. These are DraftKings initials. All right, I'm going to go over to FC. This is where I like to build. Okay to use San Diego and Quince. I mean, Quince is inherently a tournament as well. You got to be in the top 20% to get 5 times your ROI. I think you're kind of capped on your return there. So it doesn't make too much sense to use a team like the Padres. I think you can use other fine offenses like Cleveland, Houston, Cincinnati, Detroit, some of these other teams in good spots tonight, and not be on a team where, listen, think about it this way. If 23% of the field has a Padres stack tonight, they go for 15 runs, you are not in the Quince money yet. If the top 18% get paid out for Quince and top 23% have, you just updated them? Oh, man, I'm going to use updated right now. Let me go back. All right, so projections should say updated here, right? Should be, 6 o'clock? Nope. Or did you update just the projections? Like the stream, people. 63 people watching, only 13 likes. Thank you, Mills. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. Thank you for that. Okay, if these are updated, thank you, CG. Let me upload these. But thinking about it this way is going back to the Quince, right? If San Diego goes nuclear tonight, you still have to fight those 23% of San Diego 5-man stacks, or San Diego 4-man stacks, or whatever. You have to fight them to be in the top 18%. I don't know. In Quince, I think San Diego's a do not touch. But I'm just playing the numbers. Nothing else. All right. So we got our projections uploaded. We're ready to rock and roll. Pitching's a barren wasteland to some extent tonight. If I'm going purely by, let me go back to the study up. DraftKings pitchers, for you pitcher questionnaires. I'm going to sort by DK rating. This is honestly how I identify my favorite pitchers each and every night. Now, if you've been watching my stream for the last 2.5 years on Twitch and dabbling here on YouTube for some of these random streams I do, you know that I do not build from my pitchers. For the most part, I just allow our projections to slam in whomever it slams in. But if I were to go out of my way and select them tonight, I'm going to be going by the DK rating, which puts Erod, Mike Minor, Andrew Haney, Yu Darvish, T1 Walker as kind of my favorites, right? I mean, I like our rating system. So they are going to be my favorites. If you are looking at ownership-wise, Yu Darvish tonight at Colorado, just to kind of look at one thing over here. I don't like to bounce back and forth, but, my Sparry nailed this last night. I'm going to scroll down to, I'm going to click it, total. And last night, the Rockies, and this is tonight, the Rockies implied run total was, I think, 6.76, and the Sparry model had them at like 5.01 or something. And then Colorado last night, I think, was 5.4 implied run total, and the model dropped them all the way down to like 3.6. Okay, well, that ended up happening again tonight. Even though Chichi Gonzalez is on the mound, Sparry model once again has San Diego coming way in on the under and an A grade based on the model of taking the under there against the Padres' implied run total, and same thing for the Rockies. So if the Rockies potentially even come in under on the model, just like Sparry has them, my friends, I really like Yu Darvish, and I think the beautiful part about this right here is that if our ownership is correct and even fairly accurate tonight on Mike Minor and Andrew Haney, I think you got a decent price point pivot here right off of Mike Minor, 9.2K, and you pivot to Yu Darvish at 9.4K in a difficult matchup, or whatever, difficult spot. But you get him at a fourth of the ownership, 32% on Minor. You get 8% on Yu. I mean, you're simply just talking ownership leverage 101. And you can be in rare territory just by using Darvish tonight and fading the Padres. And I think you'd be really hard pressed to have a duplicated lineup tonight. So I think that's a fine option. Let's just take a peek. I am going to run this raw. I'm not going to set up any stack structures or anything. I'm going to leave one unique on and everything. So my goal here is just to look at this and be like, where are the projections taking me tonight if I don't touch anything? That's what I want to see first. Where are the Team Reservoir projections taking me if I do not touch anything? And then we're going to add our stacks in, and we're going to add our 5-2 stack structure and go from there and see what changes. Now, one of our coaches, Porter, inside of Discord, talks about doing this all the time, by the way. Talks about like running raw stacks out, running a raw crunch so that you can see where the ownership is, where your exposure is going to be if you don't touch it. And then adjusting going forward. And I've always been a big proponent of that. I kind of want to see what the projection is going to lead me to, and then I want to adjust. Thoughts on Trevor Rogers tonight? Potentially sub 5% ownership. Seems kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, Trevor Rogers is a good pitcher out of Miami here. At St. Louis, lefty. 10K. It's a lot to pay for. And it's not like he's been a world beater. There's a couple good games here. I think he's been in the teens for like 4 of his last 5 starts. Let me sort by salary. 28 last game against Colorado. 15, 16, 15. I mean, the upside's there. 10K. St. Louis, 3.99. Implied run total, 10.7 Ks per 9 innings. But again, that just comes back to Yu Darvish for me. Third time we'll see him. I don't think that's in a positive for him. Not giving up a run against them in 11 innings this year, I'll say that. It just comes down to, well, I guess if you're saying Trevor Rogers is going to be super low tonight too, I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't like him. He's certainly in play. I think I'm just saying I'll take Yu Darvish first. Does that make sense? Just to answer your question. I know you're looking for one. Let me look at the ratings again. Yeah. Trevor Rogers, he's top 10. I still want you. Corbin, Darvish, crunch. Well, let's take a peek, in fact, and let's see where the initial projections took us with our initial crunch. All right, so Corbin gets slammed in there. Absolutely slammed in here. And I talk about probabilities all the time, right? Does this look like somebody you want to slam into your lineup? Not a pitcher. Ugh. I don't care who he's facing. He has not pitched well. No control. Walking everyone. It's like 4 walks per 9 innings this year. Gross. Gross. What's his whip? It's got to be astronomical. 1.5? Oh, that's not as high as I thought. Not a lot of hits, I guess. But personally, I don't know if I can stomach that. I don't know if I can stomach that. All right? Now, let's go and see if there's any. Look at this. So, just even without putting in stacks, look what happened. That's insane. All 150 lineups had a 4-man or a 5-man Padres stack. That is with me not touching the stack settings. Now let's go touch the stack settings. Let's put in some work. Let's get prepared. And then I'm going to post my final exposures in Discord for the members. And then I'll see you on the battlefield. I'm maxing out multiple things tonight. What's up, Real King? Good to see you, homie. All right. Looking at Study Hub, going over to the DK Stacks tab. Again, Padres, really the only team I think you really need to be concerned about for ownership. They have an insane ownership tonight. Even when you sort by the FC Pro ownership, virtually identical to what we have in the order-wise. But the Padres, 3 times the amount. Look at this, 3 times. 120% compared to 40%. That's 3 times the amount. Look at ours. 20% compared to 7% for Cleveland. Same thing. Same thing. And if you're looking at it this way, this is the way that the FC reads it. All right? 123%, 43%. Look at ours. We had San Diego at 165%. Cleveland 55%. So again, I think the only team you really, really, really need to focus on doing anything with tonight is San Diego and what you want to do with them. So let's say I just said, you know what? I got to beat 41,000 people in this tournament. I'm not going to move with 23% of the field. They're gone. And this is all I do. Then maybe I do like a soft 50% cap, clone the stack so that I can do same things. Set this up for 2-mans, 5 2s. This is with the Padres gone. And then let me show you what happens. And then I'm going to close out the stream. If anybody has any questions, type them in chat right now. I'll get to them at the end. But I want you to see what happens here. And then, again, this is specifically if you're doing that large, 40, 50,000 person tournament. I'm not trying to move at 23% of the field if I got to beat 40,000 people. Ugh. No thanks. Be aggressive. You play tournaments to take first place. 50% of the prize money is in the top 10. Are you trying to min cash? If you're trying to min cash, go play a cash game. Go use the Padres. Be happy. You trying to min cash in a tournament, you're doing things wrong. Fortune favors the bold, my friends. Getting a lot of Bellinger on FanDuel? Okay. If you're uncomfortable with how much, cap him, lower his projection, lower your global cap exposure for all players. Many different things you can do. You can use Bellinger only in your Dodger stacks, remove him outside of those stacks. You can do that too. Somebody from Team Rise or Fall winning $100,000 tonight. I think so too. We have had a glorious last week or two of streams. We have member after member winning thousands of dollars a night. We had 2 different winners last night, went over $1,000. The night before, we had a $3,000 winner. The night before that was a $7,000 winner. Like, it's just happening nightly at this point. You know, that's going to happen when you have 500 plus members. But, you know, it's good to see that people are succeeding. Take them out. Take them out. Your lineups will be updated right in Cruncher. And by the way, if you're not using Cruncher, you get $20 to use on Fantasy Crunchers if you're a member of teamriseorfall.com. So you can use Fantasy Cruncher MLB, I think premium, for like $20 a month. That's how much we give you per month for being a member of ours. You pay $29.99 at teamriseorfall.com and you get $20 to use here? What? You end up paying $9.99 a month, basically. That's insane. That's insane. And if you're already an FC user who stumbled across our stream today, guess what? That applies to you. So basically, if you're already an FC user, you're only going to pay $9.99 a month to get access to every single sport, every single tool, content piece we have, cores, GPP, cash, notebooks, picks and pools, articles, videos, study hubs, projections, tiered rankings model, simulation model, trends tracker. I mean, we got it all sports, man. It's crazy. What's up, Daner? Good to see you. Appreciate the subscription. Thank you very much for that. Make sure you go to the Discord, grab the Discord link on your way out. It is on the YouTube like homepage or whatever it's called, landing page for my YouTube. So I hope y'all check out the site. I'm going to show you my exposures to what happens here, and we'll go from there. There it is right there, teamriseorfall.com. Use promo code STREAM. Takes $5 off if you want it. And then I hope to see you in Discord, and I hope to see you tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be building PGA lineups for the U.S. Open. Going to be a good noon, 12:30 stream. 147 lineups. I'm going to stop it here. That's close enough. Here's what happens tonight if you fade Padres. And again, you're going to have to make a decision tonight. What are you doing with Patrick Corbin? Do you want him in here like this? I don't. Personally, I do not. I'm not using a pitcher who's not pitching well. And if I do use him, that's fine. I mean, I'll probably cap him. I want exposure elsewhere. There's too many good pitchers tonight. There's like a lot of, I shouldn't say too many good pitchers. There's a lot of pitchers who have this range of outcomes that could be like 5 to 35. Frankie Montas can get there. Here, you can see him here, 23, 22, 22. Andrew Haney absolutely can get there. 26, 26, 15, 32, 30. Like, you got all these guys on the slate. Taijuan Walker, 32, 29, 21, 35. Mike Minor, 31, 23, 23, 15, 29. Like, yo, can Patrick Corbin go for 32 tonight? Sure, absolutely. You know? But you have a higher probability of somebody else doing it. I don't care that the projections are jamming him in there. You know, a model is only half the battle. You can remove somebody like that. And listen, if he scores 30 tonight, think about it. If he scores 30 tonight, do you lose? Are your 150 lineups dead in the water because Patrick Corbin has scored 28.9 points? No, you're not. Because once you take him out, guess who's getting the ownership on your pool? Mike Minor, Taijuan Walker, Andrew Haney, Frankie Montas, Julio Urias. These guys are all getting it. And you bet one of these guys is going to have a real good night. Some of them, multiple guys, might have 22 plus. In which case, yes, Patrick Corbin was a phenomenal value at $7K, and he likely ends up in the winning lineup. But you didn't lose the night. It didn't sink your team. It didn't sink your 150 max. I'm still winning money over on NBA Superdraft. I played on Superdraft 3 days ago for the first time in a month, and I took first and second place in the $20. So, yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. Right there with you. Oh, by the way, who caught the YouTube stream last night? Somebody was like, yo, Mitch, can you check out Underdog Fantasy? Watch this. They were like, can you check Underdog Fantasy? I I want to see like what the pitchers, whatever. They asked me a question. I was like, okay, let me check it out. So I clicked on this, the gem, all right? 150 entries. And I was like, okay, I'm going to click enter. I didn't realize the entrance was so close, right? Because it fills like every 6 people. And I clicked it just so that I could see and show this guy. And it entered me into a tournament. Well, guess what happened last night? I did the draft live. I don't even know how to see it. Results? MLB? I did the draft live on YouTube after being forced into it accidentally. Had no clue how to use it and do it. I took first place. So whoever that was who was like, can you check out Underdog? Thank you, my friend, because that decision led me to take first place last night and win $250 off my $9. I got super lucky. Appreciate it. Maybe people don't know how to play MLB DFS over there, but I'm probably going to enter that again tonight because why not? We'll see if I can do it again. Thanks again for everybody for your support. I love y'all. Inside the Discord, make sure you check the alerts channel. A lot of things dropping in there over the last hour, and I'll see you on the inside, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Hit the like button on your way out down below of the video. If you could please do that. You could do it on cell phone. You could do it on desktop.